Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And you guys are with me, Mike Spider Slayer, bringing you, that's right, another in-depth comic book review. Now, today's review is Justice League of America, issue 7.2, otherwise known this month as Killer Frost, issue number 1. Now, this book I was in the middle of reading last night. I finished reading it this morning. I got a message from Kat, Comic Uno. She said, Mike, I forgot to pick up this book, so I'm interested to see what it's about. So, Kat, this one's for you and all the other readers out there that may have been on the fence about buying this book. Here it goes. Let's just do this review. So, the first thing I want to say is, so far, this is one of the best villain books that I've read so far in my comics this week. I have about 5 books left to read. I still haven't read Reverse Flash, and I still haven't read Harley Quinn. So those two right there, could take that top spot. But right now, this is one of the best books I've read all week. This was a phenomenal book. Our writer here is Sterling Gates, and our artist is Durlis Santa Cruz. The artwork is really nice to look at. At times, it can be really creepy and really eerie. At other times, there's some battle scenes in here between Killer Frost and Firestorm, which are very desirable to look at. The character itself is interesting to learn about, and you dig deep into her soul to figure out how she got this way and how much she wants to become normal again. Great issue here. The way it opens up is, hey, if you want to learn about hypothermia and how it affects your body and how you'll die from it, read this first page because you'll learn everything about it. But it's very creepy and it's awesome to read about. So awesome here. And we get to see how that actual scientist, the original scientist, died. As our story goes along, 3 years ago, you get to see the arrival of our Dr. Caitlin Snow, who is taking place of Dr. Nolan's work, which was to, I guess, create energy to save, energy consumption or whatnot, and she has to work in this actual lab and things like that. And she quite enjoys her work, and she actually studies everything that Dr. Nolan did and what she studied and whatnot, and she was very interested in learning everything about, again, what Dr. Nolan did. Now, she meets her scientist partners here, her colleagues, and they're kind of not on the same page. They're kind of just like hanging out there until their replacements come so they can save money, and they actually killed the original scientist on purpose. And when they find out that Caitlin Snow actually gets a breakthrough here, and figures out how to work the machine and save energy consumption, well, her colleagues just are against her, and they don't want her to succeed. And what they do is they trap her in the machine, and they wind up causing this crazy ass experiment to go bad, and it's what transforms her into Killer Frost. And she's in this like hard shell in this egg, and then someone comes to see if she's alive or dead or whatnot. And the next thing you see is she takes people and she grabs them, and she basically sucks the warmth out of them and makes them all shriveled up and whatnot. Really interesting here. Really great artwork here. Nice pinup page or splash page, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, oh my God. And you get to see the origin of her. And all she wants to do is she hungers for warmth. That's all she wants. And that's what she desires all this time. So she's sitting there destroying all her colleagues, and she's killing the person that welcomed her aboard, and she instantly gives someone hypothermia by a kiss, and she feels that warmth. So as the issue goes along, you get to see more about her origin and how she tries to keep her body warm, how she comes across Firestorm, and how Firestorm is the actual solution to her problem. Because there was one time where they did this battle, and he used his fire beams at her and brought her back to normal just for a second. And ever since then, she's been infatuated by Firestorm. She'll do whatever it takes to get his power so she can become human again. So by the time the end of this issue comes around, you see the crime syndicate making their speech, and she finds out that Firestorm is dead, and she is super pissed off, and she takes off on a rant, and she's like, there's no way I can ever become normal. She's like, I'm just going to die being cold. And that's the end of the issue. Um, I gave away a lot, yes, but this is an issue that you must read. There's lots of dialogue. It's a dialogue heavy book. However, it's an interesting story. It's great. It's phenomenal. This reminds me of Count Vertigo last week. It digs deep into the character's soul, finds out where she came from, what her struggles are to try to get back to become human again. And she's a villain out of a freak accident, and she doesn't want to be. All she wants to be is a human again. So, and she has this hunger. Really great stuff. It was so well done. It was such a nice book to look at. So far, this is one of my favorite villains books of the week, and I want to see more of her. Eventually, that's kind of like the downside of these villain books, because the way they introduce them, it's almost like, hey, well, we can come out with like a mini series with you, and find out a story, see if you figure out how to deal with your problem or not. But I love the character here. I think she's a great villain. She's obviously a new version of Killer Frost here in the New 52, not the ones that we're used to. I think the first one made her appearance in Flash issue number 290, I think. So the character's come a long way since then. But if you have not bought this, if you can't get the 3D and you can only get the 2D, it's worth getting the 2D. Get this book. It's a great story. You'll truly enjoy it. And guys, that's all I have for you today. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you read it, again, go out and buy it if you haven't gotten it yet. And guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. You guys, take care, everyone.